And this timeline, Haney gets slept. I mean, he got to go to sleep every night, so he might as well go to sleep that night.
Norman Jr. has called Devin Haney with a knockout message directly fired at Haney. Using both the fight and the recent altercation, as well as out in New York, he has emphasized that he will knock Haney out to sleep.
It's about that time I seen him up out the game, because dude a little weirdo. I don't like what he got going on. Make sure you make Bill throw in the towel. That's the goal. I don't want a little KO. I want the boy to quit. I want to take that boy's soul.
Norman Jr. explains that the tension is not fake, and he has a scene when he was being tore into by his bodyguard by Devin, whose shirt was ripped by the man and taken hold of by him. But physically, he shrugged this off, but mentally it made him even more determined to bring down the former undisputed lightweight champion.
I mean, look at what's on my shoulder. So I had been to this level before, but let's say you're saying you never knew the opponents that I have. Okay, you are very, very well known. So after I knock your block off, then what? I defeat Devin Haney by going out there being Brian Norman Jr. I bring it all to the table. I can box, I can brawl, I can counter punch, I can do this, and I can do that. Whatever the case may be, we can get into all of that. Matter of fact, since they were trying to wrestle and tug yesterday, I challenged him to a wrestling match at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? You got me, Devin, you got me, my pops, and Jolene Mazone, that's my bodyguard, versus Devin Haney, Bill, and his bodyguard. Let's make it happen.
Most of the pre-fight story has been obsessed with a developing clash between VADA and drug testing. Haney has been accused by the camp of Norman Jr. of stipulating some additional testing conditions that are beyond the strong norms. Based on interviews with the father and coach of Norman, Bryan Sr. asserted that Haney was challenging testing benchmarks against which Norman Jr. felt he was being punished and felt dutifully unnecessary, which supported the idea that Haney would not take well to increased attention.
Glad B did it. B wasn't gonna do it. B wasn't gonna do it, but I'm glad he agreed to it. I'm just like what my man just said. I'm like, bro, we ain't got nothing to hide, so man, just go on and sign up. It ain't no big deal, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good.
He just trying to like stir up some controversy. You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, if your son knocked him out, you know what I'm saying? Then he'll have something to fall back on to.
Right.
A pillow?
Yeah,
a pillow, a comforter?
First, I did it at first, even when we was so-called beefing or whatever. I did it at first. Now I just don't. I guess it started. I don't hate him. I don't hate nobody. I don't have no hate for him. That's the honest to God truth. I would tell you if I did. Do I like him? No, I don't like him at all. I don't like him at all. No.
Turki Al-Sheikh has officially promoted the fight through the Ring magazine and will be part of the stacked Saudi title that will feature David Benavidez as the main event and Norman Jr. versus Haney as the co-main event, and will take place in Riyadh on November 22nd. Respected trainer and voice in the boxing world, Greg Hackett, came up with his own opinion regarding the spectacle that happened due to the altercation between Brian Norman Jr. and the camp of Devin Haney, especially with the father and the trainer of Haney, Bill Haney. Hackett rebuked the concept that the Haneys would go to the extent of canceling assigned combat, but proposed the showdown in New York, wherein Norman was actually called to order by the Haney security crew, was in some way the strategy.
I don't think they would go as far as signing contracts and then pulling out, but I do think it's tactics by Bill, because Bill been like, remember that time we sat down, he was like, all right, we got the shit talkers, who you think the best? Bill taking it up a level. I'm gonna have the security guard grip y'all up, and then now I'm
You think that was on purpose?
Yeah, because it was too easy for Cuz.
Greg Hackett resumed his analysis by appreciating that indeed Brian Norman Jr. has a good punch and is a mighty puncher, but that we shall see his first experience of playing the elite event, and not forgetting the fact that it is a global event where his position will be exposed to scrutiny. Regarding the fight with security to increase resistance to VADA testing, these moves, according to Hackett, are all strategically there to punish Norman, test his steel, and make his ascent as uncomfortable as possible.
I think it's all head work. Because one thing we do know, Brian Norman, he punching, they have a boxer, but this is Brian Norman's first time on this level. So we're gonna make it an experience for you. And I believe that's just what it is. They're just trying to make it an experience that they'll never forget. You know what I mean? So they're giving them a hard time. It's to be expected.
Do you think this fight happens?
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's too much juice behind this joint.
The fight had been verbally agreed months ago when Teofimo Lopez threatened to do the same thing to Haney, which caused the fight to fall through. But now the match is set in full welterweight without a catchweight. Norman Jr. demanded to enter the ring at 147 pounds without any special considerations, and this is indeed a legitimate welterweight championship fight on his part, which is Haney officially entered the division. Teofimo Lopez has visibly expressed doubts regarding the Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. encounter, with him distancing himself from Haney himself out of the reasoning process and hinting at the fact that the match is not ideal. Lopez, a 2-division and 2-time lineal world champion, made it clear he has followed the same model of signing and beating the best. He compared that with the decision of Haney to fight Norman Jr. and said that he has not seasoned and high-level experience to be taken seriously at this point.
Haney, I'm not their team. You know, whatever they have in mind, they have in mind. You know, the only thing is that I'm a 2-time lineal world champion and 2-weight division world champion, you know, and we've done it the hard way. We fought the best and beat the best. He's fighting Brian Norman Jr., who's not seasoned. He's not seasoned enough. He had a big knockout, but against who? Think about it, against who? Japan is very strong. They got a good boxers and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. I faced one of Masayoshi Nakatani, who faced Verdejo and Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? However, who was that guy? That Brian Norman?
Teofimo Lopez went ahead to cite the experience of Top Rank in the talent nurturing of young fighters. Who had been promoted by the Top Rank organization himself, Lopez said that because of this experience, the promotional outfit will be able to know how to get fighters into the spotlight. He indicated that Brian Norman Jr. has not yet developed beyond that physiological stage, and that Top Rank is running his career the same way they had run those of the others.
You know, I think that Top Rank knows how to build them. I came from the slots of Top Rank, and I know how that goes. So I think that the Haneys just feel like they have that edge.
The match is a cannot miss event for fans following the future of the division, considering both men are the reigning undefeated champions in their respective divisions. Now the #1 ranked fighter at 147 after changing weight classes in March, and Haney entering the top 10 overall ranked, and it sure was a fan-friendly fight. When Devin Haney met with Brian Norman Jr., they had a small session in front of the cameras because he is convinced that the new WBO champion is only a step sign on the road to his glory. Former undisputed lightweight champion Haney, now the belt holder in 140, underlined that Norman has not had to fight the caliber. He said, "I'm excited to be 3-division champion. He's just another opponent, another stepping stone." Speaking about his rich experience before his fight against Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney stressed that he had had a chance to share the ring with the all-time greats of the sport, such as Vasily Lomachenko. He pointed out that this will also be the first time he will be fighting a younger opponent who has not had to endure this level of competition, like Haney has already contended with by claiming a world title. Haney regards this match as a possibility to show the difference between classes, not only in terms of psychological, but also technical.
You know, from my experience, from me sharing the rings with the best of the best fighters, guys like Loma, legends of the game, it'll just show that, you know, this is my first time that I'm fighting a guy that's younger than me, that I got more experience than, that I'm, so, you know, it will show just how much levels I am above him.
Devin Haney also raised suspicions of Brian Norman Jr. being ready by raising a question over the quality of his opponents. Although he admitted that Norman has been treating his business with the competition that are placed before him, Haney made it clear that those performances do not show that Norman should be considered on the same level. One of the points that Haney highlighted is that he has operated in the top of the sport since he was in his early 20s, competing against the world champions and the pound-for-pound contenders.
I don't know how good he is, but like I said, he's done what he was supposed to do against the guys that they put in front of him. You know, I'm on a whole different level. I've been at this level since I was 21 years old. So this is nothing new for me. This is new for him. This is his big moment. This is his first time at the top. I've been here.
In terms of style, this is going to be a contrasting confrontation. Devin Haney is a technical prodigy, an orthodox fighter with smooth motions, high ring intelligence, polished jab, and trademark reliance on movement, which winds out of range. He has established himself as one of the sporting most disciplined and intellectual operators by being the undisputed lightweight champion, ruling in a 2-weight division in which he destroys his adversaries.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really the champion. But he's a champion on paper. So right now he's a champion, and it's just, you know, he's the best guy at 147. And you guys know that's the type of fighter I am. I want to fight the best fighters in the world. The guys who y'all think are something, I want to prove that I'm better. And so that's all it is. You know, it's a guy at the weight class that I'm going up to. So I'm taking on the toughest task that they say is, and I'm gonna show the world.
In comparison, Brian Norman Jr. is shorter, heavier built, and has a reputation of a one-punch knockout artist who is powerful above his weight division. He has a very high finishing rate with 22 KOs on 28 victories. His style of fighting is tight and squared off, pressing forward and cutting angles, and delivering hard shots at close range. Tamir Smalls started the show with a tactical review of the coming Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. fight. Smalls also mentioned the fact that Norman has good skills as a boxer, but his identity as a fighter in the ring is power-centered. Then he made a realistic issue of Haney in his physical size, and this meant that Haney may be comfortable enough at welterweight to exchange shots with Norman.
It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a nice fight, real strategic. You know what I mean? Of course, Brian Norman a good boxer, but you know he known for being more of a puncher. Haney more of a boxer, so he's gonna be not really like a cat and mouse. A lot of people talking about Devin looking bigger or something, so he might feel it. He might try to sit there with Norman.
Smalls proceeded to concentrate on the recent track record of Haney by pointing out that despite Haney having fought at 145 pounds against Jose Ramirez, Ramirez was not a fully fledged welterweight, instead being a natural 140 pounder. He insisted that Haney has yet to encounter a 147-pound body with valid welterweight authority, and Norman Jr. is such a man. Smalls refused to say who his favorite was, but posed the fight as an actual challenge of greatness.
Greats become great. You know what I mean? Moving up them weight classes, taking them risks. So, you know what I mean? We're going to see how he react to that 147 pound. Of course, Norman the puncher, and you know, he's more aggressive, but Devin just got that experience. You know what I mean? He's been in there with them guys. You've been on them stages Norman ain't been on. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the pressure and like the nerves, that's gonna be a little more chill on Haney. It's a 50-50 fight, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Brian's most recent defense of the title and knockout of Jin Sasaki in the 5th round in Tokyo was a reminder of his explosive qualities and the ability to put away an opponent once an opening arises. Physical strength, high output, and power in a punch that Norman Jr. possesses could totally break the rhythm of Haney in case the former manages to absolutely cut off the ring and flush it.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm just knocking names off the list, I'm dropping bodies, and I'm making highlights day in and day out. So I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, going into the gym, doing this and doing that, come in front of these mics, you know, talk my talk real quick. So shoot, I feel like it's well earned to me.
Fans are already loud as the fight continues to build up in the coming months. Reddit threads post their opinion on who makes better use of pace, Haney with a jab and move rhythm, or Norman Jr. with the power and brute strength. Brian Norman Jr. gave an impressively definite faith in the pace he has gained in his profession, and he discussed this increment with a film reference implied to match his current achievement. Norman referred to the breakout performance in Japan, where his opponent laid out and knocked him with a highlight reel KO to become the new WBO welterweight title holder.
You just called it. We out here making moves, man. I made a move out there in Japan. I made a move with my first fight to become champion. Sure, I just keep on dropping hits after hits, man, so come November, it will be another one.
Between super lightweights, developmental newcomer Richardson Hitchens, who has an unbeaten record in 10 fights, has shown his support publicly for Brian Norman Jr. before his fight against Devin Haney on November 22nd at Ringway 4 in Riyadh. In an obvious friendly but stern message, Hitchens was urging Norman Jr. to do more than win this fight, but to knock out Haney, something seldom done against fighters of such defensive quality.
You've been drinking, right? Knock his ass out! Knock his ass out!
Brian Norman Sr., the father and trainer of WBO welterweight champion Brian Norman Jr., could not keep back his words when replying to the team of Devin Haney before their fight on November 22nd on the outskirts of the Saudi capital of Riyadh. Norman Sr., in one of the smoldering interviews, derided what he termed as utter and unnecessary demands by the camp of Haney, implying that the demands were not really based on equity, but on fear.
Got that boy over there shaking in his boots. He's scared. He's trying to find something. He's trying to tell people something. Hey. That boy over there scared. You hear me? He's gonna find something. He gonna find something for 4 months. We gotta deal with this clown looking for something. Okay, I'll take the last one back.
It could be VADA tests, the specifications of the gloves, or the inclusions in the contracts. Norman Sr. was claiming that Team Haney was attempting to run everything because they were getting jittery. His remarks contributed to the building hype between the two camps, and contributed to the narrative of a young, cocky champion versus the highly experienced yet maybe overcured Haney.
Offered to pay, but check this out, bro. He offered to pay for extra testing. Extra. Why? It's such a big deal. Why are you so scared? I don't remember all of this hoopla about Jose Ramirez. B don't have no talent. B don't have no feet. B only got power. His power not gonna land. What's the problem? What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of his power actually landing?
In short, Haney versus Norman Jr. is drama, personal tensions, variation in styles, and betting big in negotiation. Devin Haney comes in as an undefeated former undisputed champion at the lightweight division, switching to welterweight, who is a boxing genius with great footwork. Coach Stephen Breadman Edwards, one of the most respected boxing coaches in the game, considered Devin Haney with great respect to fight a very dangerous fight against Brian Norman Jr. Breadman referred to the possibility of Haney being weak against left hooks in prior matches, and highlighted that Norman Jr. has been hitting his opponents with left hooks, knocking them out. Fighting out of welterweight into a heavy-handed, explosive young belt holder like Norman, a stylistic known risk, has more to do with courage than risk-taking, however, in the opinion of Breadman.
Is riding high, bro. He's riding high. See, a couple years ago, I would pick Devin easy because Norman was struggling, but for some reason he came out of his slump when he won the title. It's like he turned into a different fighter, because if you watched a couple fights before that, he got dropped, he went to distance a couple times, he just didn't look right. Something looked off on him. Then he goes in and wins the title in the other guy's hometown, knocks him out.
Coach Breadman Edwards brought his argument further with the reflection that there has been a transformation of Brian Norman Jr. in the ring. He said that only a few years back, he would have grown confident enough to bet on Devin Haney to win, because Norman was not seemingly consistent enough as he dropped, went the distance, and was not sharp. Then, however, according to Breadman, everything changed when Norman got the WBO welterweight belt in Japan.
Norman is riding really, really high. He's riding really, really high. And his confidence is high, and Dev didn't look like he had all his confidence back in his last fight. But I want to say this. Norman got a great team behind him. Top Rank got great matchmakers, and Norman got really, really good managers in Jolene Mazon and Adrian Clark. Bring up race, but there is a difference. They kind of come into him in a certain kind of way where he's just lining them up. Dev ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? It's different when you're fighting a dude that's moving his feet, that's using the jab, that's using the feint. It's a little bit different. He's not gonna let you line him up with them kill shots. So the Japanese dude walked right to him, boom.
And there you have it. A storm is brewing at 147 pounds. Devin Haney steps into unfamiliar waters, chasing greatness, while Brian Norman Jr. is riding a wave of momentum with nothing to lose and everything to prove. Will Haney's experience and ring IQ carry him through, or will Norman's power and pressure rewrite the script under the Riyadh lights? Now it's your turn. Who takes it on November 22nd? Is this the night Norman stuns the world? Or does Haney remind everyone why he's one of boxing's brightest tacticians? Drop your predictions in the comments, smash that like button if you're hyped for this welterweight war, and don't forget to subscribe for all the build-up, breakdowns, and fallout from Ring 4.